A warm welcome to one and all. Today's session, we're going to deal with hydraulics and pneumatics. So, what is hydraulics and pneumatics? We have seen in our last chapter. So, what are the types of pumps? What are the types of cylinders? So, what are the types of fluids? So, likewise, we have seen many topics in this hydraulics and pneumatics. So, this is going to be a part 4 class. So, in which we are going to see different symbols, that is different fluid symbols which is involving in various industries and other applications. So now we can start our session. So regarding hydraulics and pneumatics, so we know a high pressure liquid comes from the pump. As soon as it comes from the pump, the high pressure, it enters the cylinder where the cylinder motion is get transferred. So due to that motion, a mechanical output is being done. So we are familiar about this principle of working. So now we are going to see what are the types of symbols involved in this fluid power. Okay, it is simply nothing but a fluid power symbols. Like an electrical circuit, which has various diagrams, representation. For example, how a diode looks, how uh, a capacitor looks, inductor symbol. So it various things as a various symbols to represent the working, to represent the indication. So we are going for symbols. So from the olden days also, using symbols only way of communication is being expressed. So now also we are going to see what are the various symbols involved in a fluid power system. It's okay. So what happens for this bringing of these symbols? So it's due to rapid development. So there was a rapid development in fluid power applications. Okay, so only many symbols and specifications are developed. Okay, so for proper communication and representation of fluid power systems universally. So symbols are being used. Okay, so the fluid power involvement. Okay, so it involves a huge application. Okay, it's spread over everywhere. So day-to-day life or a normal thing, we are going for any operation, any fundamental operations. Without these fluids, we can't do this thing. So that only the importance have been get developed to a greater extent, and so we are going to view this technique called fluid power symbols. Okay, so these symbols normally, okay, will illustrate the flow paths, connections and component functions, but they do not specify the operating parameters and construction details. And normally what a fluid power symbols will be specifying means it will specify the flow paths. The path is flowing from a left side to a right side pipe, or from a bottom pipe to top pipe. So likewise, the flow paths are will be illustrated, and also the connections. So connections in the sense, it is entering into a wall. It is pressurized thing. So pressurized fluid enters into another chamber. So likewise, the connections will be shown, and the components representation will also be shown. So component representation in the sense how the thing will be, the component will look like. Okay, whether it is a motor or a pump, so how the representation will be. So likewise, many representation will be done. Okay, so depending upon that representation, right? So we have seen many application oriented topics in. Okay, so now, so depending upon the American National Standard Institute, that is ANSI, depending upon this ANSI institute, what happens, they have designed several component functions, several operating parameters, and several construction details of the components involved in a fluid system. So Now we are going to see the operating parameters and as well as the construction details of the various components involving in a hydraulic as well as in a pneumatic system. Okay, so it is a mandatory for a fluid power designer or an engineer to have a thorough knowledge of power symbol. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the various graphic symbols used in hydraulics and pneumatic system. Okay, so these symbols are classified broadly into various categories. Okay, so depending upon these categories, we are going to see the symbols, how it is being represented, how it is being notated, and how it is being used in a system. Okay, so in this, the first symbol categories, second categories wise, the first symbols comes this pumps and motor. Second thing, the cylinder. Third thing, direction control valve. Fourth thing, pressure valve. Fifth one, flow control valve. Sixth one, non-return valve. Seventh one, operation actuation methods. Eighth one, energy transformation. Ninth one, measuring device. Tenth one, couplings. And 11th one, this combination of these devices. So totally 11 categories we're going to see the symbols now. Okay, so the 11 categories, the first category comes is pump and motor. Okay, so we all know generally this pump and motor are interrelated with each other. Okay, so which is nothing but energy producing devices in a fluid system. It's an energy producing device in a fluid system. So the general graphic symbols are it looks like a circle. Okay, see the symbols. I will notate the symbols. Kindly note it. So circle. First thing is circle. So circle in the sense a round circle in which two lines are drawn at the top and bottom. So which represents the circle represents the pump and motor or any rotary devices. It also includes rotary devices also. So normally there is a circle means it is nothing but it's a pump or a motor. So the variation between the pump and motor differs. So I will tell what are the difference now. Next, the filled triangle. Filled triangle in the sense, so there is a line. Okay, there is a line in which there is we are marking as a arrow mark. So we will call that arrow mark as a triangle. Okay. So the triangle, if we share the triangle, okay, so that is called a filled triangle. So now I am drawing a triangle which is not filled. So you can see the space there. Okay, but now I am drawing a triangle in which is filled. So if it is filled, so it's nothing but hydraulics. So if there is a gap, you can see the gap here. So this gap is pneumatic. Okay. So this arrow marks indicates the flow. Okay. So indicates the flow of direction of flow for a hydraulic fluid system. Okay. So this symbol indicates that the flow is in both the direction. Whereas the first symbol indicates that the flow is in one direction, unidirection. So the represent the unidirection and bidirection. Next one, unfilled triangle. This unfilled triangles represents the pneumatic fluid system. It represents the pneumatic fluid system. So you must be aware of it. Okay. Then line with an arrow shows nothing but the displacement. It indicates the variable displacement of the system. So for simply you can say you can draw a circle. If we are putting like this a symbol means it indicates a pump or a motor which is having a variable displacement. That is a varying path. The path varies, the velocity varies, the pressure varies. So there is a variation in this process. It may be a motor or a pump, whatever it may be, but the variation is taking part. It is changing. The value is not constant. It is being changed. Okay. So now we can see the tableau column, the graphic symbols for pumps and motors. So the left side part fully shows the description. The right side part shows the symbol as well as how the diagram looks. Okay, this is symbol representation. Symbol S1, S2, S3, S4. This all and all symbol representation. So this shows the diagrammatic representation. So now we can see one by one. First thing is fixed displacement unidirectional form. That is fixed direction unidirectional form. So we all know fixed direction in the sense, fixed displacement in the sense there is no variation in the process. So this arrow mark will not be available in our symbol. Okay, so it is represented by symbol S1. So we are having two categories. One is hydraulics and the one is pneumatics. Okay. First you can see the hydraulic symbol. Okay, the hydraulic symbol. See you can see the round here. You can see the round here. So which represents it will be a pump or a motor. So how to differentiate is a pump or motor in the sense if there is a circle with the inlets, the two lines which are in the left hand side. So two lines, if you can see a two lines the left hand side, if there is a two lines left hand side, you can indicate that as a pump. Okay. So similarly, if I am having a circle in which I am having the two lines, that is the two lines represent the flow direction. So you can see the flow direction in the pump which is in the left side of the circle. Whereas in a motor, we will be having the lines in the right hand side. So which indicates this as a pump and this as a motor. Okay, is anyone clear about this? So a circle in which the flow lines are indicated in the left hand side means it's a pump. Whereas when the flow is represented in the right hand side means you can see here. You can see this diagram. So which is a motor. This is a motor. Okay. Next. Then you can see. So no arrow mark. So it is a fixed displacement. Then it is a unidirectional pump. Unidirectional pump in the sense that is one flow at a time. There is only one flow. So this part indicates the unidirectional thing. So you are having a unidirectional thing. So the flow is in the upward direction where the arrow marks, that is a triangle, is being filled. So the filled part shows that it is a hydraulic system. So one direction. So the directional part is in this way. So next diagram you can see a pneumatic system. So pneumatic system, all things same, but the triangle is being not filled. So unfilled triangle. So if there is an unfilled triangle, it represents the pneumatic system. So that is the basic difference between them. So if you know a symbol for a hydraulic system, you can draw easily for a pneumatic system. So it's very easy. Okay. So next you can see fixed displacement unidirectional pump. So fixed displacement means there will be no arrow mark. Okay. And then unidirectional pump means there will be two sets of flow. One is in the top direction, another one is in bottom direction. So you can see two filled triangles in both direction. So that represent bidirectional pump. Okay, so similarly you can see in for pneumatic we're not having any, we're having unfilled triangles in this side. So these two arrow marks represents it's a pump. Okay, next variable displacement unidirectional pump. So the name variable is being involved here. So surely there will be arrow mark in the circle. Okay, so you can see the circle, first a circle with an arrow mark, so which represents the variable displacement, and then it's a pump. So the two lines will be in the left side, and it's a unidirection. So one side the flow is represented. So similarly for pneumatics. So this is how the symbols are classified for a pump and a motor. Very important chapter we are discussing. Okay. Next you can see variable displacement with bidirectional pump. So arrow marks is going to be sure, and then bidirectional means both sides it's going to be filled. Okay. Then fixed displacement unidirectional motor. You can see the motor. So automatically what happens? The circle with right side arrow, right side line. You can see here. So it's a motor. So it's a fixed displacement. So there won't be any arrow mark, and as well as it's unidirectional. So the flow will be in one direction. Okay. So you can see for a pump, you can see the flow is flowing outwards. But for a motor, you can see the arrow mark which represents in this way. So which shows that the flow is inward. But for a pump, you can see the arrow mark which is facing outward. So that is a pump. So you should know this basic differences between a pump and a motor symbol. So this is typically a motor. So the flow is going inward, but here the flow is going outward. So if the flow is going outward means it's a pump. So the flow is going inward means it's a motor. Motor, this is a pump. So the basic symbols you have to be very clear. So next comes the fixed displacement bidirectional motor. So next thing is fixed direction bidirection motor. So in which you can see the symbol representation is S6. So you can see the motor typical motor diagram. So in the means the flow is inward, facing inward, and as well as it's a bidirection. Okay, two sets of flows are indicated. So pneumatic looks like this. And then next comes the variable displacement unidirectional motor. So an arrow mark with the cross section arrow mark is facing. So unidirectional is one directional flow where the motor representation is present. Next comes the variable displacement bidirectional motor. So the variable displacement bidirectional motor looks like this. Okay. So oscillating, the last comes the oscillating motor where it looks like a circle where the arrow marks are facing like this. Okay. So this is typically for a oscillating motor. So it is rotating flow. So this is the basic symbols involved in a pumps and motor. Very important topic regarding the symbols. So next comes the cylinders. Okay. So now we're going to see the cylinder symbols. So basically cylinders are nothing but the actuators, okay, in which the main function is going to be performed. So what is the function of this is going to convert the energy of the fluid into reciprocating mechanical energy. So the name itself implies that a cylinder or actuator is to convert the energy of the fluid into a reciprocating mechanical energy. So the cylinders means there are two types of cylinders, one with the outer rectangle, which represents the cylinder. Another one, the line with an arrow. The line with an arrow, which indicates the adjustable cushioning. So cushioning is a very important term in hydraulics and pneumatics. So if the system is connected with a cylinder, the cylinder will be connected with a piston rod. So with an enclosed chamber. Yeah. Now we can see a symbol for the cylinders. Okay. Normally we'll be having a single acting cylinder and a double acting cylinder. So the single acting cylinder will be having one set of port, and then double acting will be having two ports. So one port in the sense the inlet goes, okay. There will be one. There will be the flow direction will be in one direction. So double acting means there will be two sets of ports where it will be just to be taken as an inlet, and then another thing will be taken as an outlet. So both the ways it can be represented. Okay, so now you can see the graphic symbols for cylinders. Okay, for a single acting cylinder, okay, the category is classified as single acting cylinder returned by external force. So we normally see that for applying force, we'll be having different kinds of forces. One is through pedals, through spring, through solenoid valve, through a clutch, that is through a pedal, okay, by an external force. So likewise, many categories of applying pressures are involved here. So with that type of pressures, we can see how a single acting cylinder looks, how a double acting cylinder looks, how a differential cylinder, how a telescopic cylinder with the cushioning, without cushioning, how it looks, you can see. So now the first category is nothing but single acting cylinder returned by external force. Okay, single acting cylinder returned by external force. Nothing but you can see, if the indication is indicated as this, if there is a line, this is typically no, this is a symbol of a cylinder. So in the cylinder will be having a connecting rod. So this is a typical cylinder diagram. Okay, so in which it is enclosed here. Okay, and then we're having a symbol here, it is a T-shaped symbol. So this T-shaped symbol represents that it is a single acting cylinder. Okay, so where the pressure is applied, the pressurized fluid is coming from this direction and it strikes the piston. As soon as it strikes the piston rod moves. So piston rod moves outward. So after, due to the spring contraction, the piston rod comes to the right side. So this part indicates that it is a single acting cylinder where the pressurized fluid enters and strikes the piston at this point. Then as soon as the return stroke of the piston is achieved by this external force. Okay, that's it. Next, single acting cylinder with spring return. With spring return. So you can see, this is piston, a single acting representation where the pressurized fluid pushes the piston to outward, and after this one stroke, the piston has to return to its contraction state. So how it returns due to this spring balance. So there will be compressive force, there will be extensive force. So due to this compression and expansion, this fluid, the piston valve, piston connecting rod returns to its original state. So with a spring return. So next comes the single acting telescopic cylinder. So this is represent the single acting type. So in which we are having a bonded thing. So you can see a stepped cylinder, you can see here. So which indicates that it is a clearly it is a telescopic cylinder. Okay, then you can see a double acting cylinder with a single piston. So now we're going to see the double acting cylinder. So you can see there are two T-shaped lines, 1 and 2. So which indicates purely that it is a double acting cylinder with a single piston rod. In the sense, you can see they are having a single piston rod. They are not going for double piston rod, they are going for single piston rod. Okay, next, double acting cylinder with piston rod, with through piston rod. With through piston rod in the sense, it will be in the center. The piston rod main part will be in the center of the cylinder. So you'll be having two sets of single double acting cylinder in which the pressurized fluid centers in both the ways. Okay, so depending upon the pressure, it pushes from this side and also from this side. So that's why it's called through piston rod. Okay, so next comes the differential cylinder. So differential cylinder in the sense, a double acting cylinder where the piston chambers are being closed at the outlet, where you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of T-shaped lines are there. So which indicates the flow in 4 directions. 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So totally 4 sets of directions are being involved That's why it's called a differential cylinder. Okay. Next comes the double acting telescopic cylinder. The double acting cylinder telescopic cylinder, in the sense this is one acting cylinder. This is telescopic cylinders. We will be in telescopic cylinders. We will be having two sets of cylinders, three sets of cylinders. So depending upon the application, it varies. Okay. Right. Next, double acting cylinder with single end position cushioning. Single end position cushioning means, so this is a cushioning part involved in the cylinder. So since it's a double acting, we're having two sets of T-shaped lines. This is a cushion which gives the cushioning effect over the cylinder. Inside the cylinder, sorry, inside the cylinder it gives cushioning effect. So now you can see a double acting cylinder with end position cushioning at the both the ends. So you can see at the both the ends of the connecting rod, you can see double cushioning effect. So this is also implied in a single piston, single acting cylinder, outside a double acting cylinder. Next, double acting cylinder with adjustable end position. The adjustable end position cushioning at both ends. So this indicates adjustable position. So we can separate it, or we can combine it. So if this which is an adjustable thing involved in this cylinder. Okay. Next. So this is the symbols involved in cylinders. Okay, so next we are going to see the direction control valve symbols. Okay. So in direction control valve symbols, it is used to determine the path of the fluid. It indicates or it determines the path where the fluid has to flow. Okay, in a circuit, in a centric hydraulic circuit where the fluid has to flow. So that direction is being indicated in this direction flow control valve. Okay, so here you can see that, for example, simply they will tell us a 2x2 valve. They will tell 2x2 valve. The 2x2 valve in the sense means this 2 indicates the first two, just in the left side. This first two, I will show better options here. Okay, wait 1 minute. I will share a new thing. So this is the thing. So in which I'm going to draw now. Draw a symbol. Simply 2x2 wall. I'm going to draw a 2x2 wall. How it looks, you can see now. Two by two wall. This is a thing they will give. So in this, okay, this 2 represents number of ports. Number of ports involved. So, number of ports. Whereas this 2 indicates the number of positioning. Number of positions. Okay. So what is the thing which specifies? The 2x2 means the first left side to indicates that number of ports cylinder system is having. For example, number of ports distance, that will be inlet, that will be inlet port, exhaust port, inlet, outlet, pressure port, transfer port. So likewise, you'll be having 4 to 5 ports will be having. So in which there will be one inlet, two outlets, or two inlets or one outlets, or two inlets and two outlets. So with the varying characteristics, it differs. So that is the number of ports you can specify. And then the right side to specifies the number of position. So where the ball is positioned. So where it is going to be directed, the where the output is going to be directed, where the inlet is being directed. So that position it shows. Okay, so position symbols it shows with a square box. So number of ports specifies with the symbol A, B, T, P, T. So in this A and B specifies the inlet condition. So P in the sense the pressurized condition. 3 is nothing but transfer port. This transfer in the sense the exhaust outlet, outlet port. So two sets of inlet will be there, and one set of outlet will be there, and one pressure port will be there. So pressure port is the sense where the pressurized fluids enters. Okay. Now you can see the directional control valve. So you can see that number of squares indicates the number of switch position possible. So the square in the sense a square box. So arrow mark with the square indicates that the flow direction. So arrow mark this flow condition in the sense like this, a square box in which the arrow mark is represented like this means what happens? The flow is from this point to this point. So just yes, example they are given the 4 by 3 ball. So in the 4 represents the port, 3 represents the switching position, which I have told you with an example of 2 by 2 wall. 2 by 2 wall. Okay. So the 2 by 2 wall symbol is S20 representation. So how it looks means this. Right. So now we can see 2 sets of square. So that's a box in which the box is separated into 2 things. So we are having one square here, another one square here. So this is the position you can tell. So 2. So these 2 represent these 2 boxes. Another set of 2 is there left side, which represents the ports. So we're having 2 sets of ports here, port A and port B. So this is inlet port. So P in the sense pressure port. So what happens? The fluid from the pressure port goes to the path A, and from A again it out delivers to the point B. So that is notation they have given in this position. So in the position 1, what happens? The fluid flows from pressure port A to port B to port A, and as well as from port A to port B. Okay. So in the position B, you can see there is a indication like this. So which shows that there is no flow. This symbol indicates that there is no flow. Okay. So at position 2, what happens? The flow is not possible. So likewise, we have to see for every valves. So this is a 3 by 2 valve. So in which you can have you'll be having that we'll be having 3 sets of ports and 2 sets of positioning. So 3 sets of ports in the sense A, P, T. So that is the ports. 2 position means 1, 1 and 2. So so you can see the flow here. What happens? There is the flow from port A to port T at position 1. At position 2, there is flow at one end. There is flow at one end, and another end there is no flow. So that's what indicates in this diagram. Okay. Next, 4 by 2 valve. This 4 by 2 valve indicates that we are having 4 sets of ports A, B, P, T, and then 2 sets of positioning. So what happens in first positioning, the flow is from pressure port P to pressure port B, and in second thing, the flow is from port A to port T. This is for positioning 1. Second positioning, you can see the flow is unidirectional. Sorry, the flow is both direction. Okay. Next, a 4 by 3 wave valve. So the 4 by 3 wave valve indicates, you can see we're having 1, 2, 3 sets of positioning, 3 boxes, and then four ports means A, B, P, T, four positioning are. So for position one, the flow is in both direction. And the position two, what happens? There is a symbol like this, which indicates that there is no flow. Okay. So last thing indicates that the flow is in both the direction. So three sets of positioning is explained here, right? So this is the three important categories of symbols. So many categories are there. So regarding this, this three is really, really important. That is the representation of pumps and motors, the directional control valve symbols, and then the cylinder representation. So these three things are very, very important. So other than that, we're having pressure valve symbols, flow control valve symbols, non-return valve symbols, operation and actuation method symbols, energy transformation symbols, measuring device symbols, coupling symbols, and also combination of devices symbols. So these are you can have a little bit of thing over here, but you have to concentrate more on these three types of symbols in detail. So that's what we have discussed in this session now. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all for your patience. So we will meet you in next session soon.